Today I'm happy to have with me actress and singer, as well as the media coordinator of the Zawya Art House Cinema, Miss Menna El Laissy. Well, welcome, Menna.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'd like first to ask you about your acting career. When did you start acting?
Well, I recently graduated from university, so before that my acting was always in the university. And then after graduation, I started taking part in a play with Dr. Dalia Bassioni at مسرح الجمهورية سحر البرولوس. Then I got cast in فتاة المصنع with director Mohammed Khan, luckily, and in أسرار عائلية with director Hani Fawzi.
فتاة المصنع, excuse me. Would you please tell me more about it? How were you casted? What was your role? What was your feeling on set?
Well, I was cast, the process of casting was very long, actually. So we had this kind of casting, getting to know the people, and then 3 months later I got a call back. The casting director was amazing, Jennifer Peterson. And the casting is in and of itself is very different because they deal with you like a human being. Like they ask you what you love, how you talk, what you're passionate about. And then I went to the audition with director Mohammed Khan, and well, I'm a theater actress. So during the audition, he was like, read this role, and so I started reading with the scriptwriter, Musaim Suleiman, who's an amazing person, by the way. And I started looking at her, and he's like, why are you looking at her? And I said, well, I'm interacting. And he's like, no, you look at the camera. So I was like, I never did look at the camera before and stuff. And then he made me read for 2 roles. And I told him I was more comfortable in the second role, which is a girl that has a kind of relationship with a man abroad. And all the relationship happens through the phone in the call shop. And that's when Ms. Salah Muhammad Ali, who's Bardo, an amazing actress, listens to my calls and spies on them, and then we have this confrontation about her kind of disrespecting me, but at the same time knowing how I feel. And I'm sorry this is taking long, but
no, go on.
The location was beautiful. Like I remember that I never got the vibe of theater except for in theater. You know, the ensemble and the teamwork, and I was there during the whole process. Everybody knew what was happening. Everybody respected the other. Everybody was working and in focus. And Mohammed Khan is just amazing to work with. He's so strong, and Musaim Suleiman, the scriptwriter, and his wife, she is such a genuine person, and it really has been a pleasure.
بيخليني اتنطط من جوايا زي الفشارة، ويجوز عشان بقى عندي 21 سنة، ويا لهوي لما الواحدة مننا تكمل 21 سنة.
I'd like to ask you about acting for cinema, because that's different, because you stand and actually do the acting shot by shot in front of the camera. Was that hard for you?
I was lucky to have actress Salah Muhammad Ali with me, because what she did was remain with me in the location even when she wasn't on screen. So I would have the camera on me, but she would still be looking at me and reacting with me, because she knew I was theater based. And bit by bit I think it started working out. So I had a lot of support, alhamdulillah.
What about أسرار عائلية?
What about أسرار عائلية? Well, أسرار عائلية was rather a short project that I kind of knew that I got cast on the day of the casting. I was referred to the role by Dr. Mahmoud Al-Lawzi. And Mahmoud, like whenever Mahmoud says something, I just go after it. Like, خلاص, he said it, okay, fine, Mahmoud. And I got cast. And I was really excited about this film because it talks about homosexuality. And that's the first film that discusses homosexuality in Egypt. And I think it's very important for people to know that these people exist, and it's not for us to judge them. It's not for us to think they're bad people. They are people who have as many rights as we do. And if you think it's religiously unacceptable, then it's between them and their God. It's not between us and them. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel that that's a challenging topic? Do you feel the audience would view it?
Yeah, when it came out, it was lots of people, especially on Facebook, they were like, how can they do something like this? How can they talk about homosexuality so bluntly? And that was one of the things that made me very happy about the film. Like, and that's why I'm like, it's okay if I wait for projects and stuff and I'm still starting, but if I do something, I want it to be strong, either controversial, that pisses off people a little bit and gets them to think, or just with director Mohammed Khan, who's like, my God, I couldn't believe myself when I got cast.
So far, your works actually they belong to what has been classified as independent cinema. So do you enjoy that? And from your point of view or your perspective as an actress, what's the most challenging or challenges facing the independent cinema in Egypt?
I think Asrar Aliyah wasn't independent, but yes, my work is mostly independent, even in the short films I did or the video installations I took part in. The challenges are many, actually. The challenges are partly censorship, that the concepts usually discussed in independent films are very different than the ones in mainstream cinema. The other big challenge is funding, or production, because people don't usually want to pay for something that is risky. They want to take that stereotype that, okay, this is going to make money, let's put a video clip of this, let's have some music here, and khalas, we have a film. So the whole concept is different to producers. The third challenge is how to reach out to people. So if you manage to get away from the censorship, and if you manage to find funding, for example, how do you reach the people? How do you make them know that this film is worth watching and this film talks about you? So there are lots of challenges that I think are starting to boil down a little bit weaker. They're becoming weaker.
Yes.
And the independent cinema is starting to boom, and that's where things like initiatives like Zawya come in.
Yes.
احنا المصريين عادي بناخد اي حاجه نايفها نعملها اي حاجه. احنا بقينا شويه شويه ما بقيناش بنحس بحاجه، ما بقيناش بنستطعم حاجه. كل واحد ماشي حاطط راسه في الارض، مش مهم بيسمع ايه بيشوف ايه، كله ماشي مكتئب.
طب ولو مثلا خدتك حته تانية تعملي المشروع ده؟
فين بقى؟ باريس؟
وانتي؟
خايفة؟
طبيعي، لو ما نفعتش مرة واثنين وثلاثة، خليك عندك أمل في أهم حاجة.
هو الدكتور قال لك إيه بالظبط؟ أنا عاوزة أجي معاك.
لا، عايزة تقعدي بيتحرك في الحمام.
ما تتعلقيش بالمكان ده قوي، المكان ده بتاعي انا.
ربنا يتوب عليا بقى باللبس ده.
مين اللي دخلك المكتب التزام ما تردي عليا؟
باللون الحماده في ستك ده.
مش عاوزة ما بتفهمش.
جورج.
ده ابن كلب.
من اولها كده فضايح، هرجعك لامي. موقف محرج كالعاده.
وأنا عملت إيه غلط؟
ده بقى المحل دي بتاعتي. خش يلا.
موضوع السفر ده شاغلها قوي.
ما عندناش فلوس كفاية، ما عندناش تأمين.
ما ترعبيش اهالي القاهره اكتر ما هم مرعوبين.
فولي على الفيزا النهارده.
خلي بالك من نفسك، اوكي؟
وأنت؟ ليه كل صورك وأنت لوحدك؟
ما عنديش طلبات بقى، خدت كل اللي عايزه. يعني مش هطلع.
لا اطمع. الناس بتدور على أي سبب عشان تفرح.
عارف اديك ايه؟ السعادة.
You're the media coordinator of Zawya. Would you tell me please about that initiative?
Well, in Arabic we say Zawya is cinema for the films that do not show in the cinema, you know. It's basically an extension to the Panorama of the European Film, which was an annual event, still is an annual event, established and founded by Ms. Marianne Khoury, producer and director and managing partner of Misr International Films. During the 6th edition of the Panorama last year, we understood that people want to have something like the Panorama during the whole year, permanently. And Marianne has always been very passionate about the idea of Zawya. Like every time we talk about Zawya, she's like, I was born thinking about Zawya, you know? So it's one of her dreams. And we are all passionate about this idea that we all want to go to the movies because it's important for us as a way of entertainment, as a way of knowing the world, knowing different cultures. I mean, we want to see the films of Cannes as well on the big screen. We don't just want to see the mainstream films or the big productions of the USA, you know?
Yeah.
Votre décision de divorce est-elle irrévocable, madame? Et vous, monsieur, est-ce que votre décision est également irrévocable?
Oui. Tu vis avec quelqu'un?
Tu t'es pas demandé pourquoi je te fais venir officialiser le divorce?
Il est arrivé?
Ouais. Depuis que je suis née, ça fait 3 fois que ma mère change de mec. J'ai pas envie de voir ce con à chaque fois que je rentre chez moi.
Ta mère a le droit de vivre avec qui elle veut.
Ça fait 2 mois qu'elle m'emmerde pour des conneries. Peut-être que tu peux lui parler? Ma mère t'a rien dit?
Attends.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a, Ahmad?
Elle a l'air d'être au courant de tout.
Je veux pas qu'ils soient ensemble.
Je pense que ça dépend de toi et moi. On doit rentrer à la maison pour l'instant.
Tu m'as dit que notre maison c'était là-bas, pour toujours.
Toi, tu dois rester ici avec maman. Pourquoi tu m'as fait ça? Qu'est-ce que je t'ai fait? Mais qu'est-ce que j'ai fait?
Ça serait pas cette petite détruire sa mère. C'est un malentendu. Mais c'est quoi ce malentendu de merde qui pourrit nos vies depuis des mois?
Il faut qu'elle rentre, qu'elle vienne poser ses fesses là et qu'elle voit la merde qu'elle a foutue dans ma vie.
Soit tu gardes ça pour toi et tu vis un calvaire jusqu'à la fin de ta vie. Soit tu dis tout à ta mère. Elle a le droit de savoir.
For Zawya, what type of films are screened? Like, are they just strictly independent? Are they just Egyptian or Arab? Would you tell me more about the type of film?
The films are not strictly independent, not necessarily. The films come from all over the world. We started off with Wajda by Haifa El Mansour. Wajda is a Saudi-German film, and it's by a female director. That was our opening film, and it won many awards. So one of the films, one of the criteria for our films is that it had a lot of acclaim, critical acclaim, in terms of awards, in terms of audience awards. Wajda had a huge boom out of Egypt, obviously, and we wanted to show it to people. And it's a beautiful film, it's very sweet, and when you think about the process of making this film, that the director had to stay in the caravan sometimes when filming on the streets in Riyadh, because she can't